the number one reason why we're here. Whatever you did, whether you're squatting or deadlifting or however you heard it, you definitely compressed your spine. You went like this. So in the spine, if we kind of take a look at it, I don't know how much anatomy you know, but we'll go through a little bit of it. In the spine, we have essentially three different things: bone, disc, and nerve. And the disc is supposed to be this gelatinous substance that kind of like coats the movement, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you bend or twist or turn, what happens is you did this. You kind of compressed it, right?
Okay.
You have what I think is what I call transient compression, which merely just means you just hit it pretty hard and then it just kind of went away. Versus somebody who has like really crappy posture, really hurt themselves, it kind of just stays there forever. Not say forever, but like I'm just giving you an example. It may stay there or it might slowly come on. What you did, I think, is this. And just knock the heck out of it. And that's why you're starting to get that numbness and tingling going down to the leg. So I rate this in mild, moderate, or severe. Typically, when you have a L5 or a disc compression, what it can do is it can hit the nerve. And when you hit that nerve, for example, we can kind of view it from the side. It can go and shoot down into our lumbosacral trunk, and then it can go down and into the sciatic nerve, which is like right where the butt is. Now, that's why I was testing you. I was like, hey, can I have your leg go up? Do I have it this way? Can I have it go that way? I was testing and I was pulling down on that nerve to see what direction it would cause you some irritation. And normally those patients who have extreme sciatica, they can't even go about 25 to 30 degrees. You were able to go about 60 degrees, a little bit of lower back discomfort, but nothing that reproduced your numbness and tingling.
Right.
Positive. So what happened is, so there's two concepts to understand. Let me just talk about those for a second, then we'll kind of answer some other questions. But when you have the pain here, for example, and it shoots down the leg, which is what you experience, we call that peripheralization. It goes from the center out to the periphery. Makes sense, right? And then when we have the pain that goes here, it's like ends here, let's say, for example, and it's slowly starting to go here, and then like the next day it's here, and then the next day it's here, and it's starting to go back, kind of what you're experiencing. You like kind of goes back in segments, right? We have that centralization. That's a good sign. So right now, what you've had is you've had it go down, and now it's starting to go back to its source on its own. Discs do naturally heal. A lot of people think they don't, but they do heal. In your case, you're just getting some of that numbness and tingling that can potentially cause some irritation, but you have that back that's still kind of irritated. So when we do this, we compress this, and then the first thing that happens is like the pressure will come off of the nerve here, and then, but yet you'll still have compression and irritation to the lower back. So I think that's what you're happening right now is like, because I tested you for all this other stuff, and you're not having that numbness and tingling, which is good. I think that's something similar that happened to your neck. You just hurt a different portion of the neck in what we call the dorsal-scapular nerve, which is a branch of the C5. So here's that dorsal-scapular nerve right here. Right there. So here's that nerve that goes down like that way, obviously on that right side. And so I think you also hit some of that C5 branch, which is why you felt like that shoulder and arm lock up on you. What you did on the right, I guess you did it on both sides.
Yeah.
You did it upper and lower. They are two separate injuries. They can influence each other. I don't want to get you wrong on that, but it's not like this caused that or that's going to cause this or this is going to make that much worse or that's going to make this much worse. I want you to like it's like peanut butter and jelly. Like they're unrelated, but they can be put together. Everything is technically related, but at this point in time, I don't think one caused the other. So the reason we see a lot of neck issues like that with pressing is because when we do this, we kind of like strain and tilt, and so we kind of like just added some shearing forces like that onto your spine. So there's a lot of things that we do in this office. The first thing I like to do is essentially, we do a lot of manual work, as Mike probably told you about, and stuff like that. So what I like to do is I like to free up anything around the hips, pelvis, and or spine, because the way you actually fix your spine is actually by fixing the movement in the pelvis and reducing that compression. In your case, I'm gonna say like 99.9% of the time it's like you gotta work from here down. We still work the spine, but we still need to work that area. You did have a little bit of dysfunctional movements, like with that extension, like that's because you have some tension back there and the weakness from that area. If that makes any sense, like it's just injured.
One of the main things I've felt for a long time is like there's pain, but it's just like a weakness where my butt meets my hip meets my spine, like in that very low back area. It's like the area here that I've hurt now. It's like always felt like weak. There? Yeah.
That's a common spot because that's the L5 area and that's the lowest level. That's where we have the most compression in there. So I'll kind of give you some exercises that I think will help you in the future and now and in the future. But yeah, you're right. This is the most common area to be injured. So not to like undermine you and say, hey, it's not about you. I'm saying statistically speaking, this is it. So it's L5. So if we talk about L5, L4, which is lumbar number 5, lumbar number 4, the nerve that comes out of here, the nerve that comes out of here, these two, this nerve and this nerve, as well as the S1 nerve, which is the lower level, like you'll see it from over here, down that way. But well, that wasn't it. But you'll see it from the front, or it's actually under there. But you'll see that those account for like 98% of all freaking disc herniations and neural involvement. If you really want to really get into what's 95% of it, it's actually L5 and S1, the two areas that you actually have. So it's here and here. So it's literally 95% of all these problems, literally statistically speak, from here. So this is why it's like really fun, because like if you can do a lot of it, like you're in good physical health, you know what I mean? So it's like, and you're young, so you should be able to recover pretty quick. And the fact is, you're already recovering pretty quickly. Where's this? I gotta get rid of like all these ones. Here's S1. So you won't be able to see that from the back. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Because there's a branch of it. But anyway, and this is also could be one of the reasons why a lot of people feel like that pain back there. But typically it's a branch through here, and so that lumbosacral trunk that we were talking about that then transfers its I guess you could say electrical connectivity down to the butt area and that sciatic nerve, which is why if you focus it backwards and you pan out, you see how it splits, and that's why a lot of people like say, hey, I felt it down this way, no, I felt it down this way. I tested you on all these levels. Excuse me. I didn't find anything happening. No, most people have some serious irritation. So coughing and sneezing, why the heck would that cause an issue? It's because when you cough and sneeze, you literally are bearing down and doing that.
That's exactly what it felt like.
And it's just doing this, and then that's why you probably feel like a little shock. It goes down and then it goes away immediately. Waking up in the morning probably sucks. Bending down, touching your toes, and doing all these funky things just absolutely suck. It's not because you're bad at it. It's just because literally when you wedge forward, you're literally doing that and you're compressing it. So what we'll do is we'll work a lot of the hip flexors to release a lot of the tension through the lower back, through the hips. We're essentially going to be working everything from here all the way around. And then we'll work the neck too, and then we're going to show you exercises to finish off that you're going to have to do.
Yeah. That's the main thing I wanted from today, was to know what I can do to rehabilitate.
Yes, I'm going to definitely give you that, because I love what I do, but I love like hands-on approach. But at the same time, if I don't give you the skills and tools outside of this office, my approach becomes a lot less effective. Because I know that if I told you to do, like, what's 80%, what's going to get you 80% of the results, one of them is going to be this one or two exercises that I give you. Also, one that's going to stop you from getting worse is stop pissing it off. What does that mean? I would not do sit-ups. I would not do crunches. I know that might be part of your thing, but like those are the worst exercises possible right now. Those are definitely no-goes right now. Anything that increases your pain, I would stop doing. What your friend said is walking. Walking is super beneficial for this. I don't know if I would go out there and run an 8-minute mile, 6-minute mile, or even a 10-minute mile just because of the jarring. But I mean, you could still walk up a hill pretty aggressively with no weight, or with a 40-pound plate on your back, so to speak, and just still get the cardio in there. and still get that in there without reducing your physical fitness. It makes sense though why at a certain level of depth in terms of squat why you would have more pain, because it adds a lot more compression to the spine. And so we just got to get rid of the compression. Easier said than done, but just got to get rid of the compression. Things will get better.
Awesome.
Any questions on any of this?
No. I don't.
Cool. All right, so let's go back in.